All right. All right. It's January 18th. This is a very snowy and cold day in Minneapolis for this 11th live stream episode of Twin Cities Trekkies. The 10th on the feed, but definitely the 11th overall. So I am Wes, the creator, social media manager, and co-host of Star Trek of this podcast called Twin Cities Trekkies, a Star Trek podcast talking about everything from the original Star Trek all the way to Star Trek Starfleet Academy and everything in between. Hi, everybody. To those who are ready to go chat, the live chat is now open, so feel free to pop yourself in, say hello, and stuff like that as we talk about season one, episodes 1 and 2 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Kids These Days, and beta test. So to get in touch with us is simple. Send us an email at tctrekkiespodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to send us an email with anything you'd like to say. If you have your opinions of Starfleet Academy, you can let us know, and I'll gladly read your email on a future episode of this podcast. If you want to leave us a comment on social media, that's perfectly fine as well. The handle for Facebook is TC Trekkies Pod. The Instagram is Twin Cities Trekkies Pod, all one word. Or you can find us out on Blue Sky as well. We are also available on TikTok as well. You can find us via there by going to at Twin Cities Trekkie. So you can find us there for social media updates, stuff like that, in the video format for TikTok. So I try to do one every week. So be sure to keep up to date there by following us there on TikTok. So, if everything, but just keep in mind that any emails, comments, or even video responses from TikTok could be used on a future episode of Twin Cities Trekkies. So, I know this is not typically where I usually do these live streams from. I'm usually in my office, which is right next door. I'm in my bedroom, and I wanted to be in my bedroom because it's actually the warmest part of the room right now, part of the apartment right now. Even though I have my heat on right now. In case you guys don't live up here in Minnesota, this has been a very trying time for us. I'm gonna go a little bit off the rails for a minute before we kind of get into talking about Starfleet Academy. Um, I know that there are plenty out there who are probably not aware, are probably aware of what's going on here in Minneapolis, especially here in Minneapolis. It's been the focal point for the last few weeks regarding immigration and enforcement, for lack of a better term, ICE. After the death of Renee Good. I'm not trying to get political here, but we do have a statement from you from what happened. We're condemning what happened, and we hope that her family gets justice for what happened. Um, Ever since that happened, it has been very, very tense here in the Twin Cities area. Um, there have been numerous closings, numerous clashes between protesters and ICE. Um, I'm thankful not to be not to be. I mean, I want to protest. I do want to protest, but I'm also fearful for my safety. And I'm not trying to be. I want to exercise my First Amendment rights, and I am by telling you that we're condemning this, and we hope that eventually they'll get out of here. Um, I've been questioning why this has even occurred to begin with. And uh, I don't know why. I wish I had an answer. It's been very hard being up here in Minneapolis. I mean, I haven't really experienced what's going on, but personally, but yeah, this is definitely a fearful time, and everything is going to shit. I just I wanted to say something about it first before we talked about Starfleet Academy because it is some of the dialogue is actually pertinent in the episodes to talk about. So, but that's all I want to say about it. We do have a statement out there on our social media regarding what happened on January 7th at 34th and Portland Avenue, which is actually about a little over 2 miles away from here. So we just wanted to, I just wanted to say something about it quick before we talked about Starfleet Academy. I really wanted to because it was on my mind and stuff like that. And I just finished, but back to happier things. I want to let you guys know about a few things regarding the podcast moving forward. First of all, these will continue as long as I feel fit. I mean, I was very, very conflicted about this before I even started this year. I was very conflicted, but I'll talk about that in a minute. I know I'm rambling and stuff like that, but this all needs to be said. So the live streams will continue, starting with this one, and then the following weeks after that, talking about Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, and then we'll take a break, and then whenever Strange New World starts, we will do more, but stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that. We might, hopefully, we won't have to conflict with Convergence, but hopefully, but who knows? We are also planning to do our 25. We're celebrating 2 anniversaries this year. The 60th anniversary of Star Trek and the 25th anniversary of Enterprise. So if you're watching this or if you have seen us on our social media, we're actually openly asking for guests to come on the show to talk about either show or either the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, or you can talk about the 25th anniversary of Enterprise. I have one already planned for the 25th anniversary of Enterprise. I just had to get in touch with him. He was just on the show this last month, talking about Tuvok. It's Greg Verab from the Star Trek Undiscovered podcast. So we'll be talking with him pretty soon. Probably we're gonna start that in February. We're gonna start that in earnest in February. The last 2 years we've done 25 episodes total, 12 celebrating Deep Space Nine and 13 celebrating Voyager. I'm gonna try to scale it back this year because it was definitely a daunting task trying to get everything scheduled. And with me last year with a lot of health issues I had, mainly this. I don't know if you can see it. It's my scar. I had surgery last month, and I also had I had bike accident last summer, and then also had that guy diagnosed with diabetes. So other than those things, my health is okay. But other than those things, I wanted to, because that's why I'm trying to scale it back. Those celebrations, I'm trying to scale it back. If more people want to do either one, that's fine. Or if you want to do 2 of them, one for each one, that's fine. Just let us know. You can email us, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, or you can message us on TikTok about that and stuff like that. We're gonna start that starting in February. I'm gonna do the top my favorite episodes from each season of Enterprise and the original series in one episode. That will be the first one. But definitely we're keeping an eye out for that. So if you're interested in joining us for that, let us know. We're over 100 episodes as of this record after this live stream. So the recent one we just dropped was episode 111. We had Linda from the transporter room and Tretnopod join me to talk about a smorgasbord of Star Trek. We had a lot of random discussions about Star Trek. I don't think it's ever been done on a podcast form before. So we're not sure if it hasn't been done before, but that's okay. That was fun. So go check out episode number 111 in your podcast feeds now. Just check it out, listen, and if you wanna join us for something else, just let us know. Um, this upcoming Friday, which will be January 23rd, I'm gonna review Star Trek Con solely. It was gonna be a two-parter, but then I decided to do a one part episode because um, I was gonna have a two-parter because I was gonna split the 9 episodes apart, 9 episodes apiece. But I think it's probably best just to do an overall review of it. So that will be on Friday the 23rd. Tomorrow at around 1 o'clock, I'm going to record an episode for this podcast with Katie Nicolau. For those who don't know her, she is one of the meteorologists at WLNS TV in Lansing, Michigan. But she also does a lot of things pop culture wise, mainly Star Trek. So she became somewhat viral on TikTok during the pandemic with her fandom forecasts and other things of weather related stuff she did on TikTok. That's what she's mainly known for, and she does a lot of things for the Star Trek fan community as well. She's done a lot of things there. So she's done a lot of like panels and being a part, got to interview people that are with the Star Trek shows and stuff like that. She's going to be on the show on Friday the 30th with talking about What He Who Is Without Sin, which is a 5th season episode of Deep Space Nine, and the weather in Star Trek. This is going to be a fascinating discussion. I know her because she was on Star Trek The Undiscovered podcast with me. I did a Star Trek Trekker hangout on that podcast back in August of 2025, and she was on, and I mentioned to her that I wanted to get her on my show. Well, I asked Greg Barab how I got to get in touch with her, and he gave me her email, and I was able to. I started it after the Christmas break, after Christmas to email her, say, "Hey, I remember you and stuff like that. Do you want to be on the show?" And she said, "Yeah." She agreed to be on the show. So she'll be on the show on January 30th. So, and then, like I said, the celebrations of Enterprise and the original series 60th anniversary will begin in earnest in February. And we'll go throughout, and we'll be sporadically throughout the year. I mean, granted, if it's less than 5, that's fine. If it's more than 10, that's fine. But, I'm trying to aim between 5 and 7. I know on TikTok I said 5 to 10, but maybe 5 to 7 is probably better. But anyway, that's the future of Twin Cities Trekkies moving forward. We do have a 5th anniversary episode planned, somewhat. So I just have to get a hold of Kenzie. So other than that, it'll be fine. We'll do our 5th anniversary episode there. So let's talk about this live stream first of all. I know I see one person in the chat. I see one person. But I want to talk about this very, very quick. I was very conflicted regarding doing a live stream again. And it wasn't anything like nobody, like I wasn't feeling like no one's watching, no one's listening. No, that wasn't it. It was because I follow a few people on Instagram who have made it their kind of their mission, so to speak, to let people know, hey, if you're watching Star Trek and you're watching on Paramount Plus, you're supporting a potential magazation of Star Trek. And that's just something that I've been fearing would happen. Because ever since it's just an irrational fear I have, but I was very conflicted about it. I was debating it. Do I really want to do this again? Do I really want to do this? And I ultimately decided, you know what? I'll do it. I like doing live streams. They are fun, especially when people are actually in the chat. But but that's okay. This is a holiday weekend, and I understand people might be out and about, having fun. Having an extra day off. Maybe they're sleeping in, which it's 11. It's all 1:15 here in Minneapolis, but it's still 11 o'clock out on the West Coast. So you're probably still sleeping in, and that's okay. And you might be taking a nap if you're on the East Coast. It's 2:15 over there. But it's a holiday weekend. It's a long weekend. So, but yeah. So I decided to still do it. I'll still watch the shows, and I'll still react to them live on YouTube. I'll still make the audio version available on Tuesday afternoons, Tuesday evenings. So that will never change. That will never change doing that. I mean, granted, if I find that I don't really like it anymore, you'll know. But I do like doing this. So I do like doing this. So okay, I know I've been rambling for the last 16 and a half minutes. So I'm gonna try to talk about Starfleet Academy now. Well, this was a long time coming, folks. I know everyone and their dog wanted it canceled. I know everyone was angry that this show even got to the filming and shooting and filming and whatever stage before it got to the masses. I know everyone and their dog was saying, cancel Starfleet Academy, cancel Starfleet Academy, bring on Legacy. I want to let you guys know this first. The series order for Star Trek Starfleet Academy predates the Picard Marvel-esque series finale. Okay? This was always going to happen. This was always going to happen. They had actually been talking about the Academy show for a long time. It's just Alex Kurtzman finally got it over the finish line. So I know that there were people out there on social media. Excuse me. I know that there were people out there on social media who were saying, cancel Starfleet Academy, cancel Starfleet Academy, bring on Legacy. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Like I said before, the series order for Starfleet Academy predates the Picard series finale by 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's 1, 2, 3 weeks. Because that order came shortly before episode 7 of season 3 of Picard. And I know that people were screaming off their head for the last 3.5, almost 3 years, going like, it needs to be canceled. It needs to be canceled. Bring out Greenlight Legacy. Screw Starfleet Academy. We want Legacy. Well, Paramount was trying to fulfill its contractual obligations. That's one thing people don't realize. I know that the series order for Starfleet Academy was predated Picard. I know the Picard series finale decided to be a Marvel-esque finale. But, I'm not trying to... I want Legacy too. I will freely admit, I want Legacy too. I would freely admit that. I won't deny everybody out there who wants it. I won't deny everyone who wants it. But I want to let you guys know this too. There is a show out there that I really, really want to have happen. And it's something that I think could really happen first. And that's Star Trek United. But let's talk about Starfleet Academy. We're going to talk about United at the end. So, Starfleet Academy. We have our very first long pilot episode for the first time in 25 years. 25 years, folks. I mean, granted, if you want to consider the 3 episodes that opened Discovery, that would be The Vulcan Hello, Battle of the Binary Stars, and Context is for Kings. If you want to consider that, and then the 3 episodes that opened Picard, if you want to consider those part of the I'm sorry, I'm just getting more comfortable in my bed. Um, if you want to consider those like a true pilot episode, then you can. But this is actually the long first episodes ever. Kids these days clocks in at over an hour and 10 minutes, which is streaming is not bound by commercials and stuff like that. But it's our first long pilot episode since Broken Bow. So that's 25 years, folks. That's a long time. We haven't had like a long pilot episode in a long time. Just for just 1 hour, just for one episode. That's it. You don't because what Picard and Discovery did, they had a 2 episode prequel, then the first episode. The 2 episode prologue, and then the pilot. So, but that's how that was structured. With Picard, it was a 3-part pilot, but it was 3 hours, but it was separated into 3 1-hour segments over 3 weeks. So, but this is definitely how they've been doing it. They've been doing 2 episodes for every season, 2 episodes a season, 2 episodes premiere. So we got about 2 hours worth of material here. Well, I want to mention about a few things I liked. First of all, I love Laura Thok. The Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid character. When it was revealed that character was going to be in this show, a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid, I was like, oh my gosh, how is this going to work? I was more mainly curious. But, this is set after Discovery. This is set after Discovery. This is set after the events of season 3 of The Burn, which I thought was one of the most stupidest concepts ever for Star Trek. I mean, how it was revealed and how it all occurred. But I really did enjoy having this series. First of all, Holly Hunter, I knew her from The Incredibles, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, from the Coen Brothers. Hey, our Minnesota reference for you, because they're from Minnesota. And 13, the movie 13, with Evan Rachel Wood. She was the mother in that movie. But she can do comedy. She can do family comedy. She can do drama with the Incredibles and all the other movies I mentioned. She's phenomenal. This is actually the kind of captain I want. She talks just like Pelia from Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And I love it. And, my headcanon says her and Pelia probably know each other, or Pelia or Aki is Pelia's offspring. That's my take on that. So, Paul Giamatti in the first episode is fantastic as News Braka, a Klingon Tellarite hybrid, which I thought was really interesting. But definitely, Laura Thok, bring on more of her. Her dialogue makes me laugh. And it's nothing against Gina Asheri, who plays the character. She does fantastic as the role. It's just that her tone of voice, plus the way she talks, makes me laugh. and it's not a bad thing at all. I think I think this is the Star Trek we need now. I really do. We need. I know there have been criticism lately, especially with season 3 of Strange New Worlds, that there's been a lot of humor rather than sci-fi drama. Well, considering how stressful it's been up here in Minneapolis since January 7th, which was now 11 days ago, feels like it's been years, but no, it's only been 11 days, is that we need this kind of Star Trek series now. Yes, there can be drama. Yes, there can be teen drama, which occurred in episode 2, beta test. But definitely, I wanted, I want this show to prosper because I want more Laura Thok. If there is any new character that's not a young person, I want more of her. Bring on her own series. That's how I feel about it. Because I really, 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 really enjoyed her character. I loved all the Easter eggs too. But out of the cadets, and I love the legacy characters back, such as Admiral Vance and the Doctor, and obviously Jet Reno. Um, but the Doctor definitely coming back. But out of the new cadets that I really did enjoy the most is Genesis. It's Genesis Lethe, played by Bella Shepard. So I really did enjoy her character so far. So, and she wants, and her the trailer says she wants to be captain. I say let her be captain. So, but I really did enjoy this series very, very much. And this is a show where I think that if the show could go beyond the 2 years as already been ordered, I can see it. They said it can go on forever, but that's what Kurtzman said about Discovery too, and then they canceled it shortly after he said that. It ended after 5 seasons. Now I can see Starfleet Academy going at least 4, but I don't see it going beyond that unless we follow the cadets through their Starfleet careers. So, and that's kind of thing. I love this whole thing. This was a show that I could get behind because this show is amazing. The show is amazingly acted, amazingly put together. Um, and I know, and I don't get all the hate. I never have. I mean, yeah, rage farming is popular with pop culture stuff or anything. Rage farming is a good thing because hate sells. But I wanted to be positive, and I really did enjoy what I watched. You know, and as for the Betazoids in beta test, yeah, um, I know that people were kind of like feeling like about the eyes because, as we all know from the Next Generation, um, like Deanna Troy and all the Betazoids that were encountered on the Enterprise and stuff like that, they all had dark black pupils. Well, the one that we're gonna know the most is as human eyes, kind of like thing. So I'm guessing that she has a little bit of ancestry with Will Riker, just a little bit, just a little. You probably introduced his genes into the pool, so to speak, and that's why the Betazoids in the 32nd century have different eyes than they do back in the 24th. So, one other thing I want to mention, I want to mention the Star Trek 60 thing. That's at the beginning of every episode this year. I'm hoping it never changes, by the way, first of all. But um, that was beautifully done. However, there are some things I really thought were a little bit off with it. First of all, there are at least six starships missing from that. Um, I'll name them all that were there. There was the original Enterprise, Enterprise A, the D, the Defiant, Voyager, the NX-01, the Discovery, and the Enterprise from Strange New Worlds, and then finally the Athena from Starfleet Academy. Well, you're missing at least another six starships in there if you wanted to celebrate the entirety of Star Trek. You're missing at least six starships there. If the Enterprise A is in there, then the Enterprise E is missing because the Enterprise A and its refit Constitution was featured in all six films. So if you're going to include the refit Constitution, why the hell are you not including the Sovereign class Enterprise E? Okay, so that's the Enterprise E is missing. You're also missing La Sirena from the first two seasons of Star Trek Picard. Actually, all three seasons of Picard, actually. Um, you're also missing the Cerritos from Lower Decks. You're also missing the Protostar from Star Trek Prodigy, and also the Voyager A from season 2 of Prodigy. And then you're finally missing the Titan A, aka the Enterprise G. So there are several starships missing from the various series and films that are missing in that celebration. And I don't know what the hell they were thinking by not including it. But if you wanted to celebrate the entire 60 years of Star Trek, you got to include every hero starship there ever was. And you missed like I said, you missed a few. You missed at least six of them. You missed La Sirena, Cerritos, Kelvin Enterprise, Enterprise E, Protostar, and Voyager A. So you're missing those. You're missing those starships. Why? I understand the need to get it done in like a minute, but you need to honor all of them. So, and not only thing, no, there was another thing that I didn't notice until somebody saw on a message, not a message, a comment on social media. When Voyager shows up in that little intro, the nacelles are flat. They should be going up like that. So there was one thing, there were a couple of things that were missing. The other hero starships and Voyager's warp nacelles are flat when they should be going like this if they're at warp. So I hope you guys can all hear me and stuff like that. But I just it's been a try. I just wanted to do this and let you guys know, even though I was talking into the void today, but that's okay. I know it's a long weekend for some, so it's okay. I mean, this live stream will be an audio version on Tuesday, so if you can't watch us live, you can listen to us on Tuesday. But just to remind you all that to take care of yourselves. Um, take care of yourselves and each other, folks. It's been a trying time here in Minneapolis and other such cities around the country. And then if you're overseas, I'm supporting what you're doing against what he's doing. And I think you know who I mean by he. And that's why another thing I wanted to mention about Starfleet Academy. Aki's character did separate a mother and her child. That has been U.S. immigration policy, at least. I mean, granted, it's been more controversial. It was controversial during the Obama administration and during the Biden administration, but definitely under the Trump administration. So, if that wasn't, if this whole thing regarding Aki and Caleb is something that could be construed as a swipe against U.S. immigration policy, which is a timely thing. I don't blame the writers one bit. You know, I mean, granted, it's been whoever is Gaia Violo, and then Jenny Lumet and Noga Landau, who wrote episode 2, and then Alex Kurtzman, obviously, who directed the first 2 episodes. Um, I don't know, actually. I mean, that wasn't a big swipe against the Trump administration or at least U.S. immigration policy, um, separating parents from their children forcibly. Um, I don't know what it is. So, but definitely it's a timely message. So, I'm going to wrap it up now. So, just to let you guys know again, um, we'll have episode 112 out on Friday with talking about Star Trek Con. Tomorrow, if you're curious to watch more of me, I'm on Trekmentations. It's a new Star Trek podcast. I don't know where Jason, the host, is from, but he definitely is from outside the United States. Um, and I know my friend Ed was on the show. My friend Ed, My Figure Universe. He does Boosting the Signal. So George, if you want to be on his show, let him know too. He's starting his second season tomorrow. But so I'm gonna be on Trek Recommendations. I have a very fun Trek recommendation for you folks. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to hear about it. But definitely this is gonna be fun to talk about with him. Because we talked about Academy a little bit. We talked a little bit about the timeliness of some of the messages and stuff like that regarding immigration and stuff like that. So that's why I'm bringing it up. So check me out on Trek Recommendations on tomorrow, on your podcast feeds. I think it will be also on YouTube. So check it out there. We're gonna have episode 112 on Friday, then 113 with Katie Nicolau on Friday the 30th, and then from then on, we're going to be celebrating Enterprise and the original series, and also we're also going to do another Star Trek film extravaganza once the weather starts warming up. Probably in March or April or May. I think we're doing it in May. We'll start doing it in May. It's going to be in May. But with that Star Trek film extravaganza, we're doing 6 films. 4 actually celebrating anniversaries, which was the ones that were released on the anniversary of Star Trek, which would be The Voyage Home, The Undiscovered Country, First Contact, and Star Trek Beyond. And then we're going to be talking about Spaceballs and Galaxy Quest. Even though both those films don't celebrate anniversaries, granted, Galaxy Quest we could have done last in 2024 for his 25th anniversary, but we could have done. And we could wait to do Spaceballs till next year when it's the 40th anniversary. But since Spaceballs 2 is coming out next year, we kind of want to get ahead of it before that happens. So I hope. So I'm going to spend the last minute and a half closing out saying, take care of yourselves, folks, and each other. It's a trying time for all of us. Not just monetarily, not just physically, but also very emotionally. It's very hard to not watch the news and see what's happening in where I live and not be affected by it, and what's going on geopolitically with our friends who are outside the United States. We have plenty of them, and I just wanted to say I was sorry. I didn't vote for this crap. And I just wanted to say that I'm not trying to be. Yes, I was political there, but I didn't vote for this crap. So take care of yourselves, folks, and each other. And we will see you next Sunday, everybody. And I hope it will be a lot less stressful for all of us. by then, but I'm not holding my breath. But until next time, which will be next Sunday, take care and live long and prosper.